In this video tutorial, we're going to go through the graphics and design module in Canvas. In this module, you'll be learning about a software called Inkscape. Inkscape is a free graphic editor that will allow you to create things such as cartoons, logos, clip art, typography, diagrams, and even flowcharts. To get started, when you go to Canvas, you do want to select the Modules tab, and then locate the name of the module, which is Graphics and Design. And next you want to select Complete Pages 1 through 3 so that it takes you to your 7 pages of content. Please make sure that you click on each page and read it carefully to make sure that you understand and you are comprehending what is being taught in the module. Let's take a look at the essential questions and key terms. So every module will start with these questions and terms. So by the end of the module, you want to be able to answer each one of these questions. So please make sure that you're reading the content, or what I like to call the online textbook, carefully. Make sure you mouse over each one of the key terms because it's going to give you the definition of each one. So by the end of the module, I need you to be able to answer the question, what effect does color have on digital product? What color model is most appropriate for digital products? How do graphic elements differ from print and online media? How does resolution affect the appearance of an image? What image file types should be used when creating a web page? And finally, what steps can be taken to align a digital image with a marketing strategy? Let's take a look at the first assignment, color discussion. The direction says, we saw the image below in the color module activity. So we're talking about the image that you see here on the screen. Using the knowledge you've gained about color, I want you to describe what this image is demonstrating. So when you go to the discussion board, you are going to describe what this image means. Be sure to describe the color value of each color and how their overlap affects the resulting color. And also remember to reply to 2 classmates. To locate your discussion, of course, you're going to select the Modules tab, locate the name of the module, and then locate the assignment name, color discussion. And that is how you will start typing your discussion. Please use the S'more newsletter link below for details about what's required for your discussion. Let's go to the next assignment, which is graphic files format. For this assignment, you're going to use the table to find a list of file formats for bitmap and vector graphics. I want you to use your knowledge in search engines to research each file format. Then you're going to create a multimedia presentation. So that's going to be a PowerPoint presentation essentially. And I want you to define each of the file types. Okay. You should have at least 1 slide per file type. So you're going to describe each file type and what the program is that's associated with the file type. Be sure to explain which type of graphic it is and whether it is compressed or uncompressed. So you're going to create a presentation using each one of these file types. Okay, so you have 3, 7, 9, 13. So make sure you include all of them. You also need to be able to recognize when you look at a file name and you see the file type at the end of a file name, you need to be able to recognize that file type and recognize which file format it is. After you create your presentation, and you can use other presentation tools, not just PowerPoint, but when you're done, you want to make sure that you go to your Modules tab and locate the name of the module and the graphic file format assignment. Submit that assignment for grading. Next up, we have the Inkscape tutorial number 1. For this assignment, you would need to download the Inkscape software, and that information will be given to you throughout the module. But you want to open Inkscape and you want to select tutorials from the help menu within Inkscape. Select the basic tutorial, and then you're going to follow the directions to complete the interactive tutorial. And finally, you're going to save your results file and submit that to Canvas. Now, I will say when you're working with Inkscape and you're submitting your final product, please make sure if it's a SVG file, double check to make sure it is something that I can see. A lot of times when you guys submit the file, I cannot see the actual finished product. So you may have to save it as a different file type or even take a screenshot. Okay? Please make sure that you learn the basic toolbars within Inkscape. So take a look at the image that you see here on the screen. It's also going to be in Canvas, and just familiarize yourself with the interface. For example, the toolbox, the status bar, the palette, the command bar. So please make sure that you go over those things carefully. When you're done, you're going to select the Modules tab, locate the name of the module, and then locate the name of the assignment, Inkscape Tutorial Number 1. Next, we have the Inkscape Photo Tutorial. Now, this assignment to me is pretty cool because I do like editing photos. I think, although it can be a little tedious sometimes, it's pretty cool. So what you're going to do first is you're going to download the cruise ship and the frozen lake images from the sidebar. So within Canvas, you should see a sidebar, and you're going to make sure that you download these photos. Step 2, you're going to open Inkscape and you're going to import both of those pictures into Inkscape. For step 3, we want to make it look like the cruise ship is stuck in an icy lake. So I want you to use the freehand tool to draw around the cruise ship. In step 4, you're going to select the outline. You're going to press Shift and hold it down while clicking on one of the corners of the ship picture. This is going to select both the outline and the picture. In step 5, you're going to select Object, Clip, and Set. This should change the display of the ship picture to include only the image that is inside the freehand outline. In step 6, you're going to move the clip of the ship onto the lake picture. And then you're going to select File and Export as a bitmap, and that file should be saved as a PNG. And of course, finally, you'll submit the file to Canvas for grading. And again, the name of the assignment is Inkscape Photo Tutorial Number 1. Just be careful because there are quite a few Inkscape assignments, although a lot of them have been omitted. Just make sure you are submitting your work to the correct Dropbox. So again, the overall objective for this assignment is for you guys to cut out the ship, edit the ship, and place it into the frozen lake picture so that it looks like the cruise ship is stuck in an icy lake. Let's take a look at the FBLA Spotlight assignment. Now, this assignment has quite a few components to it. As a matter of fact, it has a total of 7. So please make sure that before you submit your work, you have all 7 files. And I want you to make sure that you zip your files. Now, if you don't know how to zip files, you have YouTube that can help you learn how to do that. I'm also going to place a YouTube video on how to zip files within my Wakelet newsletter that will house this video and a lot of other resources. So again, make sure you zip your 7 files together to make one file when you submit it to the Dropbox. So let's take a look at what you're going to be doing. It says you've learned a lot about designing graphics in this module. So now it's time to put your knowledge into practice. So I want you to pretend that your chapter of FBLA is sponsoring a yearly Christmas activity for your local hospital. This activity is also related to the March of Dimes because any monetary donations will be given to that organization. Members spend time collecting gifts for newborns and their families that may be in the hospital over the Christmas break. The gifts will be shared with the nursing staff, and they will distribute the gifts during the holidays. So in order to accomplish this task, I want you to You have a couple of collection options. The first mode of collection is having a contest between classes at school to see which class can donate the most material for your cause. Students should be asked to donate new baby items and things that may be useful for families that are in the hospital for a long period of time while their newborns are still in the hospital. The second mode of collection is the annual Christmas party, where those that attend are asked to bring a gift donation for their admission to the party. So, you've been challenged with creating all the media needed for this FBLA project, okay? That's your challenge. So let's talk about what you need to create. For number one here, I want you to brainstorm ideas. So this is the first thing that you need to create on a document. Brainstorm ideas of items that should be donated. These should be used as suggested donations on the documentation you prepare. So just create a document, brainstorm some ideas of things that you would like to donate. Okay? And remember, you're pretending this is your FBLA group here that is doing this. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I want you to create an original image logo. So you're going to do a logo, okay, for your activity that will be used on all media concerning the activity. So everything that you create, you're going to put this logo onto those creations, those products, okay? Okay. The image should include both text and graphics. So for example, if you look at this image here, you see some text and you see, I guess you can consider FBLA a graphic since it has designs, but it should include text and graphics or images. So keep that in mind as well. And it should incorporate Christmas, FBLA, and March of Dimes. So make sure you include those three components. You're going to use the tool that you've been working with in this module, and that's going to be Inkscape. All right. Let's move to number three here. Documents that should be created. Let's talk about those. The first one is a one-page poster. This poster is meant to advertise the project at school. Okay, so I need you to make a poster. You're also going to make invitations to the Christmas party. That's another item you're going to create. Okay, remember you're going to put the logo on all of these items. That includes pertinent information. I also want you to create some gift tags that can be placed on each gift item with a good luck note and your image logo. Next, you're going to create an information sheet for the nurses station, telling them about your cause and any requests that you may have regarding days of distribution or whatever. And then you're going to also create a letter for, it should say March of Dimes. I'm sorry, this is covering it up. Explaining your project and giving information about any monetary donations you may have received. So these things that I've highlighted here are the things that you want to create. These are the important items here. So pay attention to those. All files, again, are going to be saved and submitted to Canvas. But again, I want you to zip these files into one. You're going to have a total of 7, and I want you to zip them into one. Let's take a look at the module quiz. So the module quiz is going to have 10 multiple choice questions, and you're going to be allotted 35 minutes to complete the quiz. I do ask that you review the content, assignments, and discussions before you take your quiz. To locate your quiz, you're going to select the Modules tab within Canvas, locate the Graphic and Design module, and then select the Graphics and Design quiz to get started. Alright, so the last assignment here is a project, and this is called the My Website Graphics Project. So with this assignment, you're going to be adding to your website that you've been working on for the entire semester, right? So it says, update your class website to include a selection of Inkscape graphics created during the module. So basically, you're going to take all of your creations and you're going to add them to your website. You created a graphics page during an assignment in the last module. So you can add to this graphics page, or you can create a separate page called Inkscape. That is totally up to you. You may also include examples of any graphics you've created in the class, okay? So for each graphic, I want you to indicate which program was used to create the graphic, all right? Because it may not have been Inkscape. The purpose of the graphics page is to show your experience and abilities with graphics. Be sure to include a variety of graphic examples, okay? Um, when your web page is complete, I also want you to reflect on the use of Inkscape in a word processing document. So of course that's Google Docs or Microsoft Word or something similar. Make sure you give your thoughts on Inkscape and the program. Tell us what your favorite technique is that you learned about Inkscape. Is this a program that you see yourself using in the future? If so, I want you to tell me why or why not. You're going to submit your reflection document and the link to your website so that I can grade that and give you credit for it, right? So select the Modules tab, locate the name of the module, locate the My Website Graphics Project Dropbox, and attach your reflection and the link to your website. Alright, so I want to remind you guys, as I always do in all of the videos, that there is a checklist this year to help you guys out as far as seeing all of the assignments listed and being able to put a due date and the date that you completed the assignment on the document. You can locate this checklist by selecting Home and then selecting Class Resources and locating the course checklist. So click the link. You're going to open up the doc. You can print the doc. You can save the doc, but please keep track of your assignments and when they are due and the date that you completed them so that you can be successful in the course. And lastly, I want to remind you guys to please pay attention to your handouts and resources located in the sidebar of the Canvas content. You also have rubrics throughout the module. So if you see those rubrics, please make sure that you look at the criteria, make sure you are meeting those guidelines so that you can ensure that you get full credit for your work. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video tutorial. I hope this information was useful. If you still have questions, please reach out to me via email or Remind.